Yes. Hi, everyone. Hi, Niharika. I can see your comment. Welcome to our workshop. Welcome to our live workshop on how to be fit and healthy in a natural and sustainable way. Hi, Manmeet. So we will be covering a lot of topics today. I will be sharing the list of the topics here, and any questions that you have and your health goals, please mention them in the comments here. Please mention them in the live chat. Right? I'm going to chat there. One second. Mention your health goals and questions here. All right. Um, okay. So welcome everyone to Fitgalaxy's live workshop on how to be fit and healthy in a natural and sustainable way. So the goal of this workshop is to give you the exact logic on what it takes to actually be sustainably fit and healthy in a natural way, without having any gimmicks, without resorting to any supplements, without having some crash diets, without having carb restriction or calorie restriction. And we will give you the logic behind why none of these things actually work in the long run, right? Right. So please do mention your health goals in the live chat, and we'll be able to guide you live on how to achieve those health goals. Okay. um, One second. Okay, so we have quite a lot of questions today. We're going to wait for 2 to 3 minutes for everyone to join in, and then we'll start the session. Um, all right. So I'm just forwarding the joining link, everyone. We'll wait for a minute and wait for everyone to join. In the meanwhile, please mention your health goals in the live chat. Um, all right. Okay. All right, everyone. So I can see a lot of questions coming in. Thank you for your question, Manmeet. Manmeet has a question that can you please put some light on liver health? Sure, I'll do that. There's a question. Hi, Sonia. Sonia is one of our nutritionists from Fitgalaxy team. Vinita has a question on how to maintain the weight after losing it. Okay, that's a good question. We'll cover specifically why weight increases topics for the day, why weight increases after fat loss, and how to maintain weight, right? We'll start with this question. All right. Okay, thanks for your question, Vinita. Okay, we have question from Manpreet as well, which is lose weight sustainably and understand food's content and portion more closely. Okay, so portion sizes and sustainable fat loss. Let's mention that. Portion size and sustainable fat loss. Okay. Um, Topic 2, right? Um, Thyroid, belly fat, I'll be covering those as well. Madhumati, thanks for your question. That's about belly fat and thyroid. So we had one on liver, we had one on belly fat, we had one on thyroid. Sure. And I think there's a question around protein content, right? So we'll cover that as well. Topic for the day. Target protein for the day. Yeah. Okay, so we'll cover that as well. Got it. All right. So we're going to start with the first question, which is brief introduction of what it really takes to first of all lose weight. First question that we're covering is actually this one. Let me mention this topic for the day. why does weight increase after fat loss, and how to maintain weight. All right. Okay. So we'll first cover this, but to understand why it increases after fat loss, first we need to understand why does weight increase in the first place. So can anyone mention this in the comments or in the live chat? Why does why what is the root cause of fat loss, of fat gain in the first place, right? So if you look at um, okay, Manpreet, I can see your question around cholesterol, protein also. I can see the question. I'll be answering that. Liver health, I'll be answering. How? What about if you're going through menopause? Is another question that we've got, or hormonal change. Okay, so we'll answer those as well, right? Okay. Let me mention them here. Yes. Hormonal change and unhealthy eating. All right. Got it. There is a question on muscles. Muscle strength is something that I've been wanting to cover. I haven't been able to cover in the last few workshops. So we will answer that as well. Mandeep. Okay, let me mention that. Hormonal change, menopause, muscle gain. Those will be our next questions, next answers as well. All right. So we have got quite a few questions around hormonal change as well today. Okay. So now first question that we're going to talk about is, why does weight increase happen in the first place? So we have to understand that a natural and traditional lifestyle will never lead to weight gain. That is the first principle. And what is the first clue in this? The first clue which validates this, you can validate it from an evolutionary point of view, and you can validate it from a scientific point of view also. So from evolutionary point of view, if you validate it, the validation is that just 100 years back, now it is 2023, if you go to 1923 or say even late 1800s, the percentage of people who were overweight or obese or had any lifestyle disease was negligible, right? It was less than 1% of the population. Now if you look what is the percentage, it is more than 70%. And even the remaining 30%, right, who are so-called fit or in the normal ideal body weight, they're also going towards some lifestyle disease. There's something or the other which is wrong. So why has this sudden shift happened? Because evolutionarily, if you were eating the same natural and traditional food items, if you were doing exercises, because traditionally we all used to have physically active jobs or work, right? We used to all be doing either farming or making tools or walking long distances. So one is, we are no longer sedentary. Sorry, we are sedentary. We are no longer active. That is the first point. Second point is that there is a huge influx of packaged processed food, which basically means industrialization has hit the society. Now, in industrialization, what happens is food items are no longer made at home and then eaten right then and there. You're not taking natural food items. A natural food item has 3-4 categories of natural food items. One is that you are taking a raw ingredient which is coming from nature, from farms, right? And in the case of non-veg, it is a non-vegetarian, like a animal or something, right? Like a chicken, mutton, fish, etc. You're taking that, you're cooking it, and you are straight away then you're eating it at home itself. There is no lag time between when you are cooking it and when you're eating it. If it requires cooking, suppose you have a banana, right? Banana, you'll peel it and you will eat the banana. But what about these banana chips or mango flavored juices? What happens in that? This is the industrialized side. So in the industrialized side, they will take some little flavor. It may not even actually be made of mango. And they'll call it artificial flavoring, nature identical flavoring. Mention, if you have seen all this in the ingredients, mention it in the live chat. You'll understand what I'm saying, right? So you have nature identical substances. You have mango flavors which are added into mango juices. You have mango or banana flavored or vanilla flavored protein bars these days. So all of these are basically made in an industry. They are made in a factory in large scale, and they are made much before when you are actually consuming it. You will have at least a 20-day period between, you'll have at least 20 days shelf life. Most of them are actually 3 months, 6 months. The better of the lot will be 20 days, 30 days, 2 months. But can you peel your mango and natural mango, and can you eat it after 30 days, what will be the condition of that mango? What about roti? Roti, atta is completely natural. When you cook roti at home in a natural and traditional methodology, it is completely natural. It's great for health. I will explain the scientific reason soon. But first, I am making the point that we need to understand how to identify natural versus packaged processed. So, anything that was eaten in the same format like it was eaten 100 years back or 200 years back is natural. Anything that is modern after being after this last 100 years, in this last 100 years, what are the new things which have come in? Those are the things we have to avoid. I hope that is super clear to everybody. We have a question around breast cancer as well from Pranjal. Same, the answer is pretty much the typical medical terminology has that in cancer you're going to give it chemotherapy, radiation, etc., or you're going to have some targeted treatments. But even doctors suggest the same thing, that along with this, always have a natural and traditional diet and take care of your lifestyle. But what is it exactly that is taking care of the lifestyle? Most people have this misconception that, you know what, let us do a Mediterranean diet, let us have olive oil. All that is not required. The reason the Mediterranean diet and people in Italy and south of France, etc., have better health parameters than people in the US is because people in the US eat a lot of packaged processed food items, which is not true of people in Italy and traditional societies. The US, UK are societies which have, especially the US, is basically full of settlers from UK and settlers from other parts of the world who went in there. They did not have a traditional culture previously. So for them, the industrialized food items is their natural traditional food items, is industrialized food items itself for them, right? Because the society there is quite new. So they don't have these rich traditions that they can actually base their natural traditional food items on. And the most packaged processed food items are actually consumed in places like the US. But unfortunately, the same thing is happening even in our country, in India now. And it's happening across the world. So the solution, suppose you have breast cancer, suppose you want to reverse it, right? Suppose you want to reverse PCOD, PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure issues. The first thing to understand is what caused it, and can we prevent it before it happens? Suppose you have already got it, then how do you reverse it? And the best chance that you have now, in terms of cancer, we will not make claims, right? But in terms of lifestyle diseases like PCOD, PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure issues, definitely you will be able to reverse it within 6 months to 1 year. You will be able to lose if you are overweight, and most people now in society are 10 kgs overweight, and they consider it okay. They're like, okay, this is the normal weight now for them, right? Many of them are 25 kgs overweight, then they'll be like, just get me to 10 kgs overweight, I'm fine, right? So I've spoken to a lot of women, especially, or even men who are say 80 kgs, women who are 80 kgs at 5'4" height. Surprisingly, they don't want to come down to 55 kgs. They don't want to look ultra, totally fit and healthy, because for them it's so much outside their reality that how can I get there? Because they would have tried a lot of crash diets. They would have thought, oh, you have to do a lot of dieting, you have to do a lot of exercise, you have to do something special, which is totally difficult and unattainable. That is the usual thinking, right? So that is why people are thinking, oh, you know what, I'm 80, my ideal body weight is 55, but it's okay, just get me to 70 kgs, I'm happy. That is a lot. That is a request that we get from a lot of our clients who join in Fitgalaxy's subscription plan. Yeah. Yeah, I can see Megha saying yes, right? So Megha is mentioning that you're doing everything for fat loss, but still you're not losing weight. Your daily routine is ideal. Get up early, sleep early, still not getting success. Sure, I'll address that as well. So there are multiple factors that we have to address here. Let me come back to our topic. 1 second. Yeah. So the first clue, like I mentioned, the first clue is the fact that traditional society, the number of people who were overweight or obese was less than 1% of population. And now it is 70%, either overweight, obese, or have lifestyle diseases. Also, the incidences of cancer have also increased. So that is also a clue, right? So the best chance of reversal is only going to happen when you have a natural and traditional lifestyle, followed by, medical intervention is not something that we would comment on, right? But we would not say yes to that also, right? We always prefer not going into medical intervention. We want to actually achieve everything that we want to achieve, including all these reversals, especially lifestyle diseases. Completely you can reverse without medication as well, right? So unless it's a very severe case. And then see, you have to always understand, medication always suppresses the symptoms. It will tackle the symptoms, which is also important. You may be in pain or you may not be able to function correctly, but the root cause is not addressed by medications. Root cause is always a deviation from a natural traditional lifestyle is the root cause for gain in weight, for lack of muscle mass, for any lifestyle disease that you may have developed. A deviation from a natural and traditional lifestyle. I hope that is very clear, everybody. And we just now had a question around by Megha that she's doing everything, but you're not still losing weight. So there are 5 factors that you need to look at, and you need to follow all of them, right? Okay, we have a question from Sai Lakshmi as well, that she had used steroids and gained weight. How to lose that, right? That's another common thing that we get from some of our clients, that previously they would have gone on steroids for some reason and they would have gained weight. So the body works in a very linear fashion, right? It's very consistent. It's very logical. There is basically science-based logic in the body. Weight will gain if you have more calorie intake than calorie expenditure. If your calorie expenditure is 2000 calories, but you are eating 2200 calories, those 200 extra calories will go and increase your weight. Now, it could increase muscle mass, or it could increase fat in the body. If you eat unnatural food items, and if you're not exercising, if you're not sleeping on time, if you're not waking up without alarm, right? You have to wake up without alarm, not with alarm. Then if you wake up with an alarm, you're going to have stress hormone, which is going to get released, which will cause weight gain, right? Your hormonal system should work in a natural way. So if you're eating natural food items and if you are overweight, the beautiful part is, and if you're exercising, your body itself will tell you that I have used, my expenditure is 2000 calories. The body will feel full at 1800 calories. So basically, you will start losing weight naturally. You don't need to sit and do calorie counting, because the body will automatically, your hunger level will be such that the body knows that, oh, this person is trying to do exercise. This person is overweight. The functioning of the body is not correct right now. We need to get back to ideal body weight, right? And then if the main point is, you have to eat natural food items. If you eat only one biscuit every day, even then you will not be able to lose weight. So for fat loss in a sustainable way, I'm saying, see, there are many ways of losing weight. If you can always lose weight by doing calorie restriction, by eating no carbs. You can lose weight very fast, but that weight will always bounce back. So this is the topic that we're covering, the first topic that we're covering. If you lose weight in an unnatural way by doing calorie counting, by sitting and calculating your BMR, and then I'm expending 2000 calories, but I'm eating only 1800 calories, my weight loss will happen. But if those food items are from unnatural sources, then the weight loss will happen, but your calorie expenditure, 2000 calories, will also go down. Suppose now calorie expenditure was 2000 calories. You were eating 1800 calories. You were losing 2-3 kgs, 3-4 kgs, right? And you're doing some exercise also, but you're eating 1800 from unnatural sources. What will happen? If you're eating 1800 from unnatural sources, the calorie expenditure will also come down. Because the body is thinking that, you know what, I'm not getting enough nutrition. I'm not getting enough nutrients. So your calorie expenditure, your body's because the 2000 calories is not what you are burning by doing exercise. Remember that. Out of 2000 calories, maybe 400 calories will be by doing exercise, and around 1600 calories will be for body's internal functions like heart beating, repair of the cells, right? Blood pumping, brain functions. All of this takes a lot of calories. So the body will slow down all that. It will be like, oh, I'm not getting enough calories. So it will slow down the expenditure. Expenditure will go down to 1700. Now you are eating 1800, expenditure is 1700. You will start putting on weight again. So calorie intake, calorie restriction is not a correct way of doing losing weight in the long term, because your calorie expenditure will drop. Your body will self correct. Your body is smart. It knows this fellow is trying to do calorie counting, calorie restriction. I'm not getting enough energy. Whatever the calories, the 1600, 1800 calories I'm getting is also from junk food items which are packaged processed. So I'm not getting vitamins, minerals. Let me try to protect myself and I will reduce my expenditure needs. Otherwise, I will, finish. The body is trying to protect itself. I hope that is clear to everybody. So the way to do it, you have to be in deficit. It's not that you don't have to be in deficit, but the way to get the calorie deficit means your intake less than expenditure. How much you are eating should be less than how much calories is being used by the body. The way to get that is not by sitting and counting the calories. It's by eating natural food items only. So if you eat natural food items, your hunger level will automatically control itself. For example, when you have roti, right? When you have roti, you cannot eat more than 3 rotis, 4 rotis, 5 rotis. Your body will feel full, even mangoes. But what about chips? You can keep eating chips. What about chocolates? You can keep eating chocolates for a long time, because these are unnatural food items. I'm talking about the market chocolates, market cakes, market cookies, protein bars. All this has to be totally avoided. Cornflakes, muesli, digestive biscuit, rusk, namkeen, dessert, chocolate, ice cream, cookies. All of this, when you buy it from the market, has to be avoided. If you make it at home, it is fine. But you can't make cornflakes at home, so we suggest no cornflakes. Bread is very difficult to make at home. There is a process called sourdough bread, how to make sourdough bread. So it can be made, but it's a very long and tedious process. I'll share some YouTube videos on that soon by the next session. What about biscuits? Can you make biscuit at home? Yes, you can, and it'll come out very tasty, and that is healthy. It will be tasty. You can make it with jaggery. You can make it with atta. You can put some elaichi, right? Absolutely fine. Oats, Manpreet is asking, is absolutely fine, right? But oats should not be instant oats. Idli and dosa should not be instant idli and instant dosa. The batter has to be made by us for idli dosa, and oats should be steel cut oats ideally. But we don't suggest oats still. Even though it is natural, we don't suggest it. Why? Like, why do you want it? There are so many more tastier Indian food which is available. Dalia is actually much tastier, is what I would find as my own preference, right? But sure, if you want to eat oats, it's fine. There is no issue in it. Now, all these millet biscuits and all that, Geeta, which you're mentioning, right? Again, the issue is that these are being made in a factory. If you're making it at home with 100% natural ingredients, it is fine. If somebody is making it and giving it to you, it has a lot of chemical preservatives. It will be having a lot of maida. If you look at the ingredients, there'll be E360, E361, etc., etc. There's so many chemicals mixed in, and typically a lot of sugar also, and added sugar, artificial sweeteners, stabilizers, colors, flavors, all kinds of stuff, right? So anything that is sold to you in a packet, which is made in a factory, it's ready made, is not at all good. But yes, if you're doing homemade, Geeta, like you're saying, then that is fine, right? So recently I also started making the biscuits at home. I mean, our cook is making it. So that comes out really, really good. It's super tasty. I have a son who is now 4.5 years old. So he was asking for biscuit because in his classes now people were starting to eat. So we were like, what do we do on this, right? So we started making the biscuit at home, and we have now trained him to say that, this biscuit, if you're having from home, it is good, market is bad. So whenever he wants to eat something, he actually tells me that ye natural hai, I will eat this. Right? So he knows that we are going to say that if it's natural, it's edible, right? It's good. So basically not to eat from outside at all. Yeah, it is totally possible, Vinita, because see, you have to start making the things at home. right? So I will highlight this comment by Vinita, which is how do you not eat from outside, right? Which is a good question, but it is very much possible. It's something that I've been doing myself for like 6 years now, I think from 2016, 17, since we started Fit Galaxy. So 100% natural and traditional food items is what we have to eat. That is the way to be sustainably fit and healthy in the long term. There is no shortcut around it, right? And it's quite easy. See, if you have to set up the system that you make sure that everything that you find tasty in a market, etc., you should find the way to make it at home itself. And usually you won't even have that craving. You won't have craving for junk food once you start eating 100% natural food items. So Megha, I can see, yes, it's very much possible. Thank you for that. All right. And it does not need oven, Mega. Usually what we are doing is that for the biscuit we are just making it in our own kadai, right? So I'll share the video. I'll take a video and share exactly how it's done, but there are a lot of videos on YouTube as well. And yeah, street food is, Amita is asking what about street food, right? So street food again is there is one problem in street food. If you have attended any of my previous workshops, tell me what is the issue in oil in street food. So street food, see, it's a gray area, because on one hand they are cooking food items in front of you. They are cooking usually natural food items, but what are they doing? They are cooking it in, first of all, they'll be using maida, they'll be using a lot of sauces, pre-made sauces, which have a lot of preservatives. Second very big issue is refined oil. They all use refined oil. What we suggest is only a traditional and natural oil. What is a traditional and natural oil? All cold pressed oil is traditional and natural. In India, you have cold pressed groundnut oil, cold pressed coconut oil, cold pressed mustard oil, and ghee. Those are the 4 top ones that we recommend. Ideally, try not to go for sunflower, safflower, even if they are cold pressed. You are getting now cold pressed sunflower oil, but they are considered seed oils. Seed oils have a worse ratio of omega 3 to omega 6, but it has to be 100% homemade. Sorry, not homemade. Oil can't be homemade, but it has to be cold pressed, which means it is not refined. Refining process of oil is basically they take the oil, they will increase it to a very high temperature. They don't take the oil, they take the raw ingredient, they increase it to a very high temperature, and whatever comes out. A lot of yield comes out. But if you normally in the traditional days, they used to take wood or some cold pressing mechanism, they used to press it in room temperature. How much ever oil comes out, comes out. But now at high temperature, much more oil comes out. But at high temperature, the chemical bonds are destroyed. The omega 3 to omega 6 ratio is completely disturbed. So, and it's very bad for us. It causes inflammation. It causes high cholesterol, low density LDL cholesterol, right? And it also causes inflammation in the body, which leads to a lot of lifestyle diseases. So one is all hotels, restaurants, marriage food has to be totally avoided. Because why? Because they are cooking it in refined oil. Secondly, they will use the oil again and again and again. Thirdly, they will use maida and all kinds of, sometimes they use MSG also in Chinese cooking. So this is the reason why we have to understand that this is just like poison for the body, right? So if you want to have a little bit of poison, it's up to you, right? But if you want sustainable long-term health, eating out has to be avoided 100% of the time, or at least 99% of the time. Once in a month, yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, you can do it, but you have to make sure that it is extremely limited, and you should know what is it that is wrong in that. So that, suppose even if you go to a restaurant, right, usually you will not find restaurants which are cooking in ghee. I have not found any restaurant so far, right? Maybe Fitgalaxy will start something and then we can we can see, right? But we have never seen anybody actually cooking it in a proper traditional way in a restaurant. It's very, very rare. Yeah. Okay. So I think you have understood more or less, I think, around the nutrition portion. Now I'm going to talk specifically about how do you make sure that the weight does not come back, right? And how do you make sure that you lose weight as well? I think that was our first topic. I will finish off that topic and then go into portion sizes. which was our second topic, right? So the topic that we were finishing off, the first topic, was why does weight increase after fat loss, and why does weight increase in the first place? So it increases because you're eating unnatural food items, and because we are sedentary. And also there are lifestyle factors like not sleeping on time. People are now sleeping late. If you sleep late, your body is more likely to store fat. If you wake up with an alarm, your body is more likely to store fat. So you have to sleep completely, right? Same thing with lifestyle diseases. The core reason for lifestyle diseases as well as fat gain is the same, and the core reversal mechanism is also the same. You have to reverse whatever reason caused it in the first place. Hit the cause. Don't go for some symptomatic relief like, oh, I'm going to have ashwagandha for immunity, I'm going to have this for that, I'm going to have whey protein. These are all like small corrective mechanisms you're trying to put. But the big cause, why did this thing happen in the first place, is never being addressed. So to address that, 100% natural food items, that will cause 95% of your problems will disappear straight away. If you do 100%, it's not 99%, 100% natural food items. So basically, on a day-to-day basis, you cannot have any biscuits, cornflakes, refined oil, chocolates, all of that stuff. If it's made in the market, you can have chocolates made at home every day. You can have mangoes every day. You can have parathas every day. You can have spices every day, tasty food every day. Make it at home. Have puri chana. It's absolutely fine. Right? Cook it in groundnut oil, cold pressed groundnut oil, cold pressed mustard oil, or cook it in ghee. Make it at home. Super tasty, spicy. If you like spices, that is, right. If you are non-veg, you can have chicken curry, mutton curry, fish fry. There's some prawns. There's so many options. You can have curries. You don't need to sit and do chicken breast in a microwave. I will brush it with this brush and then put it on a kadai. All that is not required. You can have the traditional Indian curry. And the logic for that is traditionally people were absolutely fit. Plus, the second logic from the science point of view is that all of these spices, ghee, all of these things, when they combine, they first of all make your food tastier. Secondly, it actually becomes very healthy. You have a lot of antioxidants, you have a lot of vitamins, minerals in all of these traditional Indian food items. Now, in foreign countries, they're having haldi milk. And haldi is such a big part of our cooking. Why should we avoid that and start putting olive oil and cooking in a microwave? We should be making, all our food items with haldi, with dalchini, with elaichi, with the lal mirch, hari mirch, all of these things, right? And they become super tasty, super healthy as well. So very important to learn to get the routine in such a way that you are including 100% natural food items morning to night. Once in a while, if you go out, that's a different thing. But even if you go out, be mindful of the fact that all of these issues will be there. All right. Okay. So Geeta is asking a question, and Bhavna has actually answered that question pretty well. Bhavna is one of our nutritionists at Fitgalaxy. Yeah. PUFA and MUFA is basically polyunsaturated fatty acids and monounsaturated fatty acids. So that's what she's talking about. Basically, when you have natural food items, right? Yeah, let us answer Vinita's question as well. But yeah, Geeta's question was basically that after menopause, metabolism slows down, can't eat oily food and sugary things. Yeah, we're not saying to eat oily food and sugary things. Sugary things is something that we will totally ask you to avoid, right? But oily food is a different thing. If the oil is good and you use it in moderation, we're not saying throw all the oil on it and cook with extra ghee coming out and all. Do it in moderation, right? Good quantities, like a normal typical Indian family quantity. That's good enough. You don't need to cut it down, right? That is not the cause for metabolism slowing down. The way to actually increase metabolism is by doing exercise, which will cause more demand from the body for nutrients. And then you eat natural food items. The natural food items will give you all the good nutrients. So your metabolism will actually increase, because metabolism is nothing but the sum of all the chemical reactions in the body. One reaction is your body is using the energy, is doing the energy expenditure. And the second reaction is all the nutrients are getting absorbed. So your metabolism will actually increase, right? So it does not have to do anything with, of course, with age, your calorie expenditure reduces. So metabolism does reduce, but it does not have to reduce so much. It's very, very low. It's not a major factor. I hope that's clear, Geeta. So as long as you eat natural food items and you're doing exercise, most important for metabolism is exercise and physical activity. If you're doing that, you're giving the body all the nourishment, you're doing all the lifestyle factors, which is sleeping on time, getting enough sunlight, 1 hour of sunlight minimum every day. You're doing walks, you're doing physical activity first day in the morning in sunlight, which is what we suggest, right? Empty stomach. Your metabolism will be fine. I hope that's clear. Okay. So LDL, one of the major reasons could also be refined oil, Geeta. If in case you're having refined oil, just make sure not to have that. And all packaged processed food items is full of refined oil. All hotel, restaurant, marriage food is full of refined oil. So first of all, never have refined oil at home. Secondly, don't have any of these sugary food items like you're saying, right? All market sweets are full of refined oil. All your digestive biscuit, your millet cookies, protein cookies, whatever, it's full of refined oil, which will cause high LDL. And yeah, so that is the way to go about it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm coming to the next point. 1 second. Okay, so we had a question from Deepthi, which I will address quickly and then move on to the next point. The question is around hair fall, weight gain, right? I'm eating everything natural. Okay, so you have to do 2-3 things, right? One is, a lot of people think that they are eating natural, but they are not actually eating natural, because for them bread is natural. For them pizza sometimes is okay, right? It's a whole wheat pizza, it's okay. Whole wheat cookies they think is natural. But like I said, if you actually figure out exactly what is unnatural, if it's made from a factory or not, if it was available 100 years back or not, whether it is cooked in the same way or not, then one side of your equation will be solved. But you still need more things. It's not only that. Suppose you're eating 100% natural, but you're sleeping at 2 o'clock and you're waking up at 7 o'clock with an alarm. Hair fall will happen because the natural food item has to go and actually start repairing the body. Hair actually falls all the time for everybody, but hair also regrows. So if you give enough nourishment, your hair fall and hair regrowth will balance itself, right? So that's how it's like a cell repair. Cells are getting repaired all the time. So if you're giving good nourishment, if you're looking less time at screen time also plays a very critical role. If you're in sunlight, if you're not taking sunlight through the day, your hair fall is going to happen, right? A lot of lifestyle issues will be there, weight gain will be there. Sunlight is super critical. You have to also be de-stressed. You can't be under stress. You can't be under attack all the time. When you're under attack, your body is like, okay, let me deal with the attack and the stress. So your nutrients don't have a chance to go and come to your hair and things like that. Your skin will start going down, your energy level will start going down. The body will only first try to preserve the core functions. When the body is under stress, the body is like, first, let me deal with the stress. Let me throw out all the energy in thinking about the stress, in dealing with the stress, etc. So you need to give complete relaxation, right? Not complete relaxation. But you need to be aware of this fact. So there are 5 key factors that we talk about, right? It's not only nutrition. Firstly, nutrition, if you are actually eating natural or not, you need to understand that deeply. And which is basically, like I explained earlier in the workshop, know that it's a natural traditional food item, plus it should be cooked in the same methodology in which it was cooked. Secondly, you should be exercising, because without exercising, even if you're eating natural food items, the metabolism will not work correctly, your hormones will not work correctly. Thirdly, all the lifestyle factors, sleep, sunlight, and motivation. Motivation, you can think, is like the opposite of stress. If you have set goals and then you're taking action towards the goals and not getting stressed out about it, so that's the ideal state that we want you to actually achieve in terms of your health, also in terms of any other goals as well. set the goals and take extreme action, and don't let anything stress you out, right? So those are the key principles that we would suggest, Deepti, and to everybody as well, right? All right. Okay. So we're getting quite a lot of interesting questions, but I'll get back to the second topic, and then I will answer the questions as well. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So topic 2 that I wanted to cover was portion size and sustainable fat loss. Now, should we sit and count calories? Should we sit and do portion size control? If you are eating natural food item, the answer is you don't need to do this. The body's hunger level is much better indicator of how much to eat than somebody has made a chart for you and said that, oh, you have to eat this much of rice, this much of chicken or whatever, right? Paneer and things like that. You don't need to follow that, because every day your body's energy expenditure is different. Suppose someday you have not done exercise. Suppose someday you have not slept enough. Your body will have a different hunger level, and your body requires that nutrients. Body's hunger level is the body telling you that I want this much food items, and please give me natural food items, is what the body wants. But if you don't listen to the body, if you say no, I will eat only this much, I will eat only this much, and then I'll feel hungry, that means you have not given enough nutrients to the body, and the calorie expenditure and metabolism of the body will slow down over time if you do that consistently. You can do that, it will work in the short term, but it will make your body sluggish. You don't have enough nutrients, again back to the same question of hair fall. You'll have hair fall, you will look older, you will have low energy levels, you will not be sustainably fit and healthy, you will start ending up having some lifestyle disease. So portion size should not be controlled by us. Use it as a reference whenever a nutritionist makes and give you. Even in our subscription plan, we have a subscription plan where we provide you with a nutritionist and a fitness coach who will guide you in our philosophy, right? They are highly qualified, but then I also train them heavily on top on Fitgalaxy's principles, on following research correctly, right? On following a natural and traditional lifestyle more than published, whatever they would have learned in a fad diet, etc., in a crash diet, carbohydrate restriction, etc. Because natural and traditional principles are never in fashion. So the way to do it, even if somebody gives you a portion control diet, take that as a reference always. That's what we would do. Our nutritionist would give you a plan made with 100% natural food items. They will give you a reference, okay, you have to eat this much, but that is not the exact amount you have to eat. Ultimately, you have to eat according to your hunger level, right? So keep that in mind. Portion control is not the way to go. Calorie counting, calorie restriction is not the way to go. Similarly, even macronutrient ratios. Don't sit and try to control macronutrient ratios. If you eat a random sample of Indian food items, traditional Indian food items, cooked in a traditional way, you will come to balanced ratios. You will have enough carbohydrates, almost 50%. You will have enough fat. You will have enough protein as well, even if you are vegetarian, right? Now, this leads to my third topic for the day, which is the target protein for the day. So usually people say that nutritionists and fitness coaches usually would say, right? And I've also done a nutrition course, fitness course, right? International certification. Just for anyone who's curious, I actually studied computer science and economics at BITS Goa. And then I did my master's in management from London Business School, worked in corporates for 4 years in PwC and Deloitte. And then I started Fitgalaxy in 2016. 2016-17 is when we launched. And I think now we have more than 2.5 lakh users. Usually we're able to get them absolutely fit and healthy in such a nice way that they themselves are surprised, and we ourselves are shocked looking at their transformations, right? So, and of course, along the way, I've also done the international certifications on from International Sports Science Association. But what I would say is that usually the literature which is there in all these certification programs, or even in master's programs, we have a lot of nutritionists who are masters in science. All the literature usually is very heavily influenced by Western science. It's very heavily influenced by research papers which are published by the pharma industry and research papers which are published by the food processing industry, food processing, supplement manufacturers, and pharma industry. Those are basically what makes up most of this literature. And all of that literature together has led to this 70% increase in obesity, 70% of population being obese, overweight, etc., etc. So that is not the right literature, because anyone who already has wealth and power, which is these industries, the main goal of these industries is always to increase wealth and increase power, which they do by setting the narrative. And the narrative is that you need this much protein. You are vegetarian in India. How will you get enough protein? Have this whey protein. So it works out perfectly for them. So always be wary of where you're getting the information from, who has given them the information. If they have read it in a textbook, where did the textbook get the information? All of that research has to be done. And ultimately, after doing all of that, the logical thing and the logical conclusion that is usually derived is that if you stick to a natural and traditional process and stop worrying about protein intake, stop worrying about I need to have this supplement to do this, I need to do this for this for this for this. No, you just need to follow a natural and traditional lifestyle overall, which means eating natural food items. Natural food items don't have to include things like ashwagandha. Pranjal is asking this question, right? No, you don't need. This is not required, and I'll explain how to do the weight gain. But I hope it's clear. See, usually what is there in the literature, let me explain to you on protein. On protein, what is there in the literature is that suppose you are, uh, you know, sedentary or lightly active, then 1 gram of protein per body weight in kgs. Suppose you're heavily active and you're an athlete, etc., then 2 times, 2 to 2.2 times maximum, right? But again, like I said, it's not it is fine, it is fine, but you don't need to go and try to stick to it religiously. You don't need to go and try to stick to it. If you're, so for example, if you're non-veg, you will easily hit these numbers. You will hit the number of 1.5 times pretty easily if you're non-veg, right? You'll be able to, suppose you're 70 kgs, you'll be able to hit 100 grams of protein very easily if you're non-veg. If you're vegetarian, you can hit 70 grams very easily, but the next 30 grams will be difficult to hit. How much paneer will you have? How much soya will you have? And we don't suggest soya also. It's very unnatural, very unnaturally prepared in India, right? So, but the good part is 70 to 80 grams is absolutely fine for you. It's not that you need 100, right? People have been vegetarian in India for ages, and they have been absolutely fine. There hasn't been this level of lifestyle diseases or they are weak or anything like that. No. So you don't need to get involved in these narratives which are set by these big industries, right? Focus on natural traditional food items. Don't worry about the protein, carb, fat, and the macronutrient ratios, calorie intake. Everything will sort itself out. Listen to your body, listen to your hunger level, right? And eat 100% natural, do your exercise, all of that stuff. Okay, so similarly, you don't need any particular supplement. Even if ashwagandha is natural, now how it is prepared, how it was prepared 100 years back, we don't know, right? So better that stick with your rotis, stick with your dal, and that's how you will make sure that you are absolutely fit and healthy. I will talk about how to gain weight soon, right? I'm just coming to that. That will be the next topic. Gaining weight basically means how to gain muscle, lean muscle mass, and not gain fat. Reduce fat and gain muscle mass. It is very good for longevity of the body also. I think that will be our final point that we discuss. But I'll just come to that. Let me see any other questions if I have missed out. Consumption of milk by Vinita. Yeah, we suggest milk. Try to get organic milk, which the cows are not fed hormones or antibiotics. It's difficult to get. The closest you can get is something like Country Delight, which is what I've been having. I now stay in Delhi. I used to stay in Vijayawada and Hyderabad and Andhra also. So if you are in a rural area, if you can find the source of the milk, if you can go and see the farm and verify it yourself as much as possible, then that is better. Yeah. Otherwise, stick to something which is as natural as it can be, something like Country Delight. Okay. Um, Geeta's question on eggs and chicken for protein. Yeah, we recommend it, of course. They contain steroids and antibiotics, so we ask you to get as much as possible natural sources. Now, I have done some research on this, but see, it's very difficult to get absolutely natural. I'll give you my own example. When I was staying in Vijayawada, you have something called Nati Kodi, and that means country chicken. That usually will not have antibiotics and steroids in such quantities. They'll be free roaming. So they are really good. That's country chicken, basically, right? But if you're staying in, now I'm staying in Delhi, or if you're staying in a major metro, then I would say go for something like Licious. If you read Licious, the I was actually curious initially that are they actually giving without antibiotics? It's not true. They are giving antibiotics. What they claim is that the antibiotic residue will not be there in the chicken at the time when they prepare the chicken. So that is the closest we can get, and that is fine, right? We can't sit and absolutely change our total eating habits because something is adulterated. We have to find sources which are not adulterated. I hope that's clear, everyone. All right. So canola oil is the worst. I agree. It's a totally natural form of oil, unnatural form of oil. Even your vanaspati, etc., which is a new form, like an artificial type of a ghee, again, is not good. Canola is not good at all. It's a totally new oil. Olive oil, again, is not good for Indians because olive oil cannot be used for Indian cooking very easily. The type of olive oil used for Indian cooking, pomace olive oil, etc., is refined, and refining causes all the LDL issues and all of that stuff which I mentioned, right? So the natural type of olive oil is extra virgin olive oil. It has a low smoke point. You can't use it for Indian cooking. So stick to our Indian oils. Don't let it be refined. Yeah, that's the only way. Now I'm coming to the muscle gain portion, and then we'll close with that. Let me open that. Muscle gain, thyroid. Yeah, I will mention. PCOS, still my weighting is gaining. Okay. This is by Megha. There's a question. I don't have PCOD, thyroid, PCOD, but still your weight is gaining. Okay, I'll answer that also, and I'll cover the muscle gain and the weight gain thing. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. So I think we had hormonal change, menopause, a question on that. And we had the next topic was on muscle gain. Let me just see where that is. Okay. So I will just mention it here. Plus muscle gain. Okay. Okay. So what we suggest for hormonal change, menopause, etc., right? Or even if you want to gaining muscle is a different topic. Hormonal issues is a different topic. So now suppose you have had menopause or there is a hormonal change, etc., right? The best way to do it is again strictly on natural and traditional principles. So if you look at even pregnant women, right? What are they suggested once they do the delivery? They are suggested goond ka laddu, which increases the milk production. So similarly, there are a lot of natural and traditional practices, but the main practice is not goond ka laddu for pregnant women, right? And even for suppose in menopause, you might have some other traditional practice which would be recommended to you. But the point that I'm driving is 95%, 97% of what you have to do is common, whether you have menopause or whether you don't have menopause. 97%, 95 to 97% will automatically resolve itself with natural food items, all the principles that we mentioned. So the principles which we mentioned are true even for menopause. They are true even for whether you want to gain weight or build muscle. In building muscle, there's a slight special case. I will explain how exactly has to be done, right? But especially all hormonal changes, Any PCOD, PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, cholesterol, LDL. Somebody had high LDL in the live chat. The way to reduce all of that is exactly the same. There is no difference. So if you go to a nutritionist, they'll say, oh, you have PCOD, you have menopause, you eat this. If you have PCOD, you eat this. If you have thyroid, you eat this. Don't have this cruciferous vegetables if you have thyroid. All this is not at all true. Because think about it logically. Traditionally, were people sitting and eating different things for their different conditions? They didn't even know that they had these conditions, and they would not, first of all, develop the conditions, right? So the way to actually reverse it is to act in accordance with a natural and traditional principle. So, for example, now I'll say your hormones get disturbed if you're waking up with an alarm. Your hormones get disturbed if you are awake for a long period of time. You have a hormone which is melatonin, which has to release when it is dark at night. So after sunset, the body is actually primed that in the morning you will have high cortisol. Cortisol will increase and it will wake you up naturally. When your body has had enough rest, cortisol will wake you up. But what do? We don't give it enough rest. We give it an alarm. Instead of cortisol rising nicely and then you're waking up fully rested and recovered and ready to take on the day, we put an alarm. Like it's rising. No. We won't let it rise fully. We'll give it an alarm. Just shoot up, right? And then you wake up with a jolt and it destroys your whole hormonal function for the whole day. So very important to wake up without an alarm. Secondly, very important to after sunset, eat your dinner early at 7:30 p.m. Finish your dinner. Give enough gap after that and then dim down the lights. In dim lights, and once your food is digested, only then melatonin hormone will release. If your food is not digested, you won't have melatonin hormone releasing easily. You won't feel sleepy. So you want dim and you want your food to be finished, right? After that, sleep early. Sleep by 10:30 p.m. or before that. Because traditional society, you would sleep even earlier than this. And if you follow a traditional and natural lifestyle, what the body is actually accustomed to, which is what the genes respond to best, then your body's hormonal system, as well as which is a direct link to any lifestyle disease and to weight gain also, will all work correctly. Okay. So these are the few key things to keep in mind. Eat your dinner early. Don't eat anything after the dinner. Eat your dinner, finish your dinner by 7:30 p.m. by 8 p.m. max. Sleep early by 10:30 p.m. Sleep in complete darkness. Wake up without an alarm. Empty stomach in the morning. Once you can go to the bathroom, be empty stomach, but then do your exercise in sunlight. Very critical, right? Do a lot of exercise. Suppose, Megha, you're mentioning that you're following something already, right? Increase the amount of exercise, right? I hope that's clear, everybody. If you want further results, right? Let me get back to. So we were discussing. Now I'm going to discuss about muscle gain specifically, because this is a little bit of a topic for topic which is a little tricky, right? Muscle gain is actually trickier than fat loss for a lot of people. And Megha, you're mentioning that what is the reason for weight gain? You have to analyze all the principles, and maybe you're missing one of them. Maybe you're missing something here or there, right? So what you can do is reach out to me directly or reach out to any of our team directly. You have my number in the groups, right? Let me mention my number as well. And for anyone who wants guided, results, definite results, 100% results. Usually we're able to get fat loss of 3 kgs to 4 kgs per month, 3 kgs, I would say, right? Per month. In 3 months, we'll be able to reduce 10 kgs. In 6 months, maybe 15 kgs. And if you have more than 20 kgs, then I would suggest 1 year plan. And any lifestyle disease, 6 months to 1 year is what I would recommend, right? So we give you a nutritionist and a fitness coach. They will guide you step by step exactly what to eat, where they'll analyze your sleep cycles, they'll analyze your exercise, your fitness level. They'll give you an exercise plan with exactly what exercises to do, the number of sets and repetitions, intensity, duration. And that's how the whole plan works. And then they are in touch with you on WhatsApp, unlimited chat. They'll call you every week. They'll make your customized nutrition plan according to your preferences, customized exercise plan. So that's our subscription plan. And for that, I would suggest this go for the subscription plan, and that you can go from fitgalaxy.in. I'm just mentioning our website here, so you can go and subscribe there. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I've given my number as well, right? I'll make you talk to one of our nutritionists, and they'll be able to guide you. Now for muscle gain, which is our final topic, I'm going to close it in another 2-3 minutes, so I'll make it quick. Muscle gain and weight gain, you have, if you want to do it, right? I'm talking about people who are underweight. And even, there is one funny thing, which is, suppose you are at ideal body weight. A lot of people still have belly fat. And belly fat is a question that we got. So whether you want to, basically then what you want to do is you want to lose the belly fat. Suppose you are 75 kgs and 5'10", 5'11". You are at ideal body weight, but you have belly fat. So the issue is you don't have enough muscle mass, which is our topic, right? And the issue is that you have too much fat. So too much fat in the body will come out as belly fat. It will come out as fat everywhere else where you don't want fat to be, right? So to reverse belly fat, you don't have to do any belly exercises. You have to lose fat throughout the body. That's how it works. The body can't lose fat from a particular spot. And you have to also build muscle so that you have a lean and strong and fit core and fit physique throughout the body, right? You're energetic, you're young, you're able to, you're metabolically young, which is, even if you're 50, 60, you should be absolutely fit and healthy, right? You should be ready to go. You should not have to rely on, knee replacement, hip replacement surgery. You should not be overweight. That's what we all want, right? Well into your 80s, 90s, even 100, right? That is what our aim should be. Long-term, sustainable fitness. For that, muscle mass, increasing in muscle mass is very important because it will protect your joints. Reduction of fat is very important because it will keep you active. And you don't want any, basically fat is a symptom. It is a symptom of unnatural food items. So something wrong is going to happen in your body. You don't want that. You want low body fat and high muscle mass. So to increase muscle mass, the way is not, even if you want to increase weight, you want to increase muscle mass, the way is not that you eat anything that is given to you. Oh, I have to keep eating to increase weight. That's not true. If you are underweight, I'm talking about, right? If you have belly fat, if you're at ideal body weight, the way to do it is start exercising hard, doing physical activity much beyond your capability. So suppose you are not used to doing any physical activity. Then you start doing walks. Start doing 30-minute, 1-hour walks. Start doing plank on hands, push up on knees, wall sit. Burpees is something you can do at the next stage. Count the number of minutes you're able to hold the plank on hands. Then after that, as time goes on, right? First day you do this much. Then you sleep properly, sleep on time, have your dinner early, eat natural food items. All the natural food items will go and build up the muscle mass more. It will build up your strength, build up your endurance. Your metabolism will start working correctly because you have given a demand to the body that I want to be able to do this much level of exercise, this much level of physical activity. That demand will translate into hunger level. You will follow your hunger level, eat natural food items, and your metabolism will increase. Your physical fitness will actually increase. So the demand for nutrients will be met by natural food items. And the demand for nutrients will come from exercise. So more and more physical activity, more and more challenge level, the more and more nutrients your body will demand, which is good. The nutrients will go and build muscle mass. They will go and build bone density. They'll go and make your hair strong. They'll go and make you, absolutely physically fit and healthy. So this is the way. And even if you want to lose fat, the same methodology applies. Your body will start getting rid of fat. It will start building muscle mass. So this is why for muscle mass increase also, it's very important that it is led by exercise, create the demand, and then satisfy it with natural food items. and then give it the environment with good sleep, sunlight, lack of stress, etc., motivation. And that's how you will get rid of lifestyle diseases. That's how you'll build muscle mass, and that's how you lose belly fat. That's how you lose weight as well in the long term, without doing calorie counting, macronutrient ratios, etc., etc. I hope that's clear. It was a good, I think, a good long session, 1 hour session. So thank you everyone for joining in, and we will have the session again next week, either on Wednesday or on Friday or Saturday. I will inform you all on the groups, and I will share snippets of this on our groups as well. And I'll share the live session recording as well, so that you're able to see it again and start implementing all of it. Anyone who wants to start the plan with us, I would definitely strongly suggest go to fitgalaxy.in, because you will get complete guidance, step-by-step guidance with our own nutritionist, fitness coach, with your own nutritionist and fitness coach who will guide you step by step. So I hope that's clear, everybody. Any questions, you can reach out to me directly on my phone number as well. And I look forward to helping you get fit and healthy in a natural way. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.